matchup on the road against the Baylor Red Raiders. Father Ryan coming off a loss at home to Innsworth. Father Ryan winning all four of its non-Division II AA games, but losing all the division to this point, hoping to end the regular season on a positive note against Baylor. This is, in essence, a de facto number 6 seed game for both teams. The loser of the number 7 seed, the winner of the number 6 seed. This is important because the number 6 seed 1 week from tonight will play at Pope John Paul II High School in the first round of the playoffs. So for Father Ryan, fans in Nashville watching tonight, the game from down here in Chattanooga, obviously that would be preferential to the potential of having to play at McCallie next week, which might happen should the Irish lose. There's also a chance of playing at Innsworth, but that would take a few things happening to take place. And looking at the warm-ups for both teams, been no sign out there on the side for Baylor of who had been their quarterback for the most part going into last week. It's number 3, Trusted McCarter, nowhere to be found. However, another player that missed last week's game for BA, a tight one they had against Montgomery Bell Academy, is Calvin Watson, number 26. Now, he is out there and warming up, and it remains to be seen how much, if at all, he will be involved in the offense. Top player for Baylor to keep an eye on is number 2, Brendan Harris. He plays both sides of the ball, and ultimately when he gets to college, he's probably going to play safety, but he's dangerous running, dangerous defending. And although he's only a junior, he already has received several big-time Division 1A/FBS college football offers from the likes of Clemson, University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, etc. I would anticipate him being a player that the Irish will key on. So the scoreboard shows about 2.5 minutes before the start. Now the captains for both teams will be heading to midfield.
The coin toss. The captains tonight for Father Ryan, number 12, Jay Shoup, number 22, Jackson Bird, 55, Nick Belante, and 79, Jack Boutte. The captains for Baylor.
So Father Ryan's captains tonight.
Watson,
Jay Shoup, the quarterback.
Number 71, Isaiah Strotter, and number 54, Cole Johnson.
Along with number 22, Jackson Bird. Number 79, Jack Boutte. And number 55, Nick Belante. So they're going to do the coin flip. If Father Ryan holds true to form, if they win, they'll defer to the second half. That tends to be their preference. The head referee, which is the one in the white hat. If there's ever a question you're watching, you're trying to figure out what the refs are deciding, ultimately it's the referee with that white hat on who's the boss of the refs. He's the one tonight, as usual for this role, handling the coin flip. They'll catch it in the air. So Father Ryan wins the coin flip, opts to defer. Not a surprise there after the deferment. So Baylor will receive the ball to start this game with less than a minute now on the clock as both teams get ready for the last Friday night of regular season action.
Baylor has elected to receive to begin the game. Father Ryan will kick off and defend the south goal.
So handshakes from captains on both teams. Father Ryan's kickoff team ready, and soon I imagine we'll see Baylor's kick return team on the field. They're getting ready to storm the field momentarily.
Also honorary captains tonight.
This is the second senior night for Father Ryan as the road team to see. Brentwood Academy 2 Fridays ago had their senior night since that was the last game of their home regular season, only playing 9 games for whatever reason. They're going to have the kickoff about the same time as we will here. They're playing at McCallie. That's important because it could come into play as far as playoff seeding goes. Obviously, if the Irish win, they get the 6th seed. They'll play at number 5 seed Pope John Paul II next week. If Baylor wins, they'll be taking that trip up to Hendersonville themselves. Got a giant banner to our right with We Heart Our Seniors. We love our seniors on it. And here come the Baylor Red Raiders.
One more time at home, the 2016 Baylor Red Raiders.
We're on the Baylor side of the field, broadcasting on top of a forklift, a scissor lift, not forklift, a scissor lift. I've called sports broadcasts from a lot of different places. This is a unique one for me, but it has a good view of the field. So now with Baylor on its sideline here on the near side, their kickoff team will be set, or the kickoff return team, I should say, will be set. And again, as I mentioned from the outset, number 2 is the player to watch for them, Brendan Harris. Also deep, Noah Martin, the freshman fullback. And I'll have more on him as this game progresses. So Anthony Hagee has the ball spotted at the 40-yard line. On the X right in the middle, which is the normal spot for him to start. As you can hear, there's some students from the Baylor side here with a megaphone trying to cheer on their Red Raiders. Irish fans on the other side of the field. Some brave souls made that trip down I-24, and it's an onside kick to start the game. Father Ryan is there, bounces up in the air, and it may have gone out of bounds.
Father Ryan begins with an onside kick. It goes out of bounds.
So the Irish rolling the dice from the start.
Taking it where it goes out of bounds.
So it did go out of bounds before any player recovered for either team. Thus it will be Baylor ball at their own 44-yard line to start.
Red Raider ball, 1st and 10 at their own 44.
This Father Ryan defense will have a challenge to be sure to stop this rushing attack. They like to use fakes, multiple looks. So Baylor opens from the shotgun. 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. And it's going to be a handoff to Harris. He'll get maybe 2 yards plowing up the middle. So Brendan Harris.
Calvin Watson, the ball carrier.
They're going to say Watson carried it. So check that.
Gets the ball up to about the 47-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
So a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 for the Red Raiders at their own 47-yard line. Just underway, no score, Father Ryan and Baylor. Again, a 3-receiver look on 2nd and 7 for the Red Raiders. It's going to be a running back to the freshman Martin. Plows forward, gets past midfield to be down near the Father Ryan 48-yard line.
Tackled by George Hooker.
Find it interesting that Calvin Watson not in there. He's dressed. He was out there warming up, number 26 for Baylor. He was their yardage leader from a running standpoint this season. Before last week, at least, before the NBA game. So here we go, 3rd and 3, the first 3rd down of this game. Father Ryan, 5 on the line, 3 linebackers back. They're going to blow this play up in the backfield, and that's a loss. A good job by the Father Ryan defense.
Loses his footing. And it's covered by Austin Crow.
And so Calvin Watson losing yardage there.
To the 47.
Officially, the ball will be spotted at the Baylor 47-yard line. It's a presumptive punting situation now.
Is into punt for Baylor.
And so Pekela, the punter.
Receive is number 13, Sage Warren.
And Sage Warren deep for the Irish. Irish bring some pressure. Gets the punt away, a good high spiral. Be fielded at the 15, fumbled, the muffed punt, but he falls on it. So Sage Warren recovers his own fumble.
Falls on it himself. So it will be first.
So to talk momentarily about keys to the game, one is not turning the ball over. I don't say that just because of what almost happened there with the muffed punt, but because Baylor's a team that forces turnovers. They sure did in the first half last week against NBA. Going back and watching that game, it was interesting to see how they managed to stymie the Big Red rushing attack in particular and forcing turnovers. So now the Irish, after getting a stop on defense with their first offensive snap of this game, 1st and 10 from their own 17. It's going to be a handoff. Jackson Bird, 2 yards, if that.
Jackson Bird, the ball carrier. He runs into Tyree.
And they will spot him at the 19-yard line. Tyree Tolliver on the stop for the Red Raiders. Less than 10 minutes to go, first quarter, no score.
Was just across the 19.
So they will spot the ball at the 19-yard line. That sets up 2nd and 8 for the Irish at their own 19. A 3-receiver look, 2 to the far side. Jackson Bird to the left of Jay Shoup, the quarterback, and Shoup's going to roll to his left. Rolls, buys time. He's going to run with it to the past the 20, right down maybe the 23 or 24-yard line.
Actually tripped up in the backfield.
And it looks like they're going to spot it at between the 24 and 25-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 3. Approaching 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter, no score. And the Irish now facing their first 3rd down of this game. Going to have trio of receivers to the near side. And Shoup sets up the wide receiver screen, and it goes over the head of the intended receiver. I can only presume that was intended for Sage Warren. The throw wasn't quite there. It's unclear if the route wasn't in the right place or what. And it's too bad because how did that play work? They had blockers in place, but instead for the Irish, it's 3 and out on their first offensive possession of the game.
The Irish line up to go for it.
They're setting up to potentially go for it. This will probably be a pooch punt, and indeed it is. Shoup will pooch it. They'll take a bounce at the 43-yard line of the Red Raiders, take an Irish roll to the 35, to the 34, and will finally roll dead at the 33.5-yard line. So good job with the 4th down pooch punt by Jay Shoup. And that sets up the Red Raiders for their 2nd offensive possession of the game. No score, 8:39 to go, first quarter. So a feeling out process for both teams here initially.
1st and 10.
Neither team has put a ton of points on the board in Division II AA play. So the Red Raiders on 1st and 10 will go 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side. Irish with 7 in the box, bring some pressure. The wide receiver screen to the outside. Good job by Antonio Wright on the stop. It was Tate Prater on the reception. So good job, Father Ryan D.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Tackle was made by Antonio Wright.
So you've got number 10, Antonio Wright, and his brother, number 15, Antonio Wright, both out there, both freshmen, contributing for this Father Ryan defense. Approaching 8 minutes to go, first quarter, no score. 2nd and 10 for the Red Raiders. It's going to be a pass down the middle, wide open receiver. It's complete. Tate Prater to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Baylor. And the Red Raiders strike first tonight here in Chattanooga. Prater just wide open over the middle. So Baylor up 6-0 with an extra point pending, 7:50 to go, first quarter.
Keegan Weekly is in to attempt the extra point. Bryce Verbal will hold.
So number 90, Keegan Weekly handles their kickoffs, their extra point and their field goal tries. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up.
The kick is
and the kick is good. So with 7:50 to go here in the first quarter, your score, Baylor 7, Father Ryan 0. $7:50 to go here in the first quarter at Heywood Stadium on the campus of the Baylor School in Chattanooga. Red Raiders, first ones to get on the board tonight. Long touchdown pass to Tate Prater, and an extra point makes it 7-0 Baylor.
Jackson Bird.
And a deep kickoff. This may reach the end zone. It'll be fielded right at the end zone. It's a fumbled ball. That was a live ball for the Irish. Tackle made at the 10-yard line. It appeared that was Sage Warren on the return. So the Irish with 2 fumbles here not even halfway through the first
Kick is
quarter.
fielded, I believe, by Sage Warren.
They're going to spot the ball at the 10-yard line, so the Irish 90 yards away
To the 11-yard
from the
line.
Baylor end zone. So they'll start with their
It will
second
be first
offensive
and
possession.
10 for the
They went
Irish.
3 and out, their first time out on offense. So 2 receivers to the near side. Shotgun snap. Shoop will hand it off. Elton Quimby. Quimby finds a seam to the near side. Cuts it back to the far side. Check this, Jackson Bird.
Goes to a first down. Tyree Tolliver on the tackle.
Actually, no, it was Quimby. I knew I was right. So Quimby on the
And it is a
run.
first down for the
It's
Irish.
enough for a Father Ryan first down. So they'll spot the ball officially at the Irish 21-yard line,
21-yard
first and 10 Father Ryan. 7:27 to go, first quarter. Baylor leads 7-0. So we get a whistle. The hard snap, or the hard count, I should say, by quarterback Jay Shoop appears to have drawn
Penalty stops play.
player
and the
offside.
offsides against Baylor.
And indeed it has. It was the big guy, number 71, Isaiah Straughter,
5-yard
listed at
penalty.
6'2",
Will make it
320.
1st and 5.
And I believe every bit of that. I saw him on video, the games that I scouted doing prep work for this one. He's a run stuffer. But on that play, he cost the Red Raiders 5 yards. So 1st and 5 for the Irish at their own 26-yard line. They trail 7-0, 7:20 to go, first quarter. Here's a handoff again to Quimby, tries to find a
Jackson
seam.
Bird carries. This time thrown for a loss. Cole Johnson in on that tackle.
And again, I don't know why they're saying Jackson Bird, unless I'm just overlooking things, and they got both of them in there. It's tough to tell from this angle. It appears it was Bird on
Loss
that
of about
carry.
a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 6.
And there are advantages to this particular vantage point we have, but one of the downsides is a little bit far away from the action. So on 2nd and 6, after a 1-yard loss by Bird on that play, the Irish go with 2 receivers to the near side, Shoot from the shotgun. He's going to roll right, looking, has Aaron Isabel for a completion, and he'll be thrown down immediately.
Complete to Aaron Isabel. And
Isabel,
he's
about
tackled
2
on the
yards
spot by
shy
Jalen Baker.
of the first down marker, is going to set up 3rd and 2, or maybe a long 2, depending on the spot. It appears to actually spotted at the 28.
line, so it will be 3rd down for Father Ryan.
So 3rd, maybe even a long 3. And looking at this from an
3
angle,
yards to go.
so they will say 3rd and 3. 6:16 to go, first quarter. Baylor leads Father Ryan 7-0. If you missed the opening kickoff, and I know some of you might not have realized it was a 6:30 Central Time start, this game in Chattanooga. Irish went for an onside kick to start the game, unsuccessful. Forced Baylor to punt, and now we get whistles. And a timeout, Father Ryan.
Ryan calls timeout.
5:59 to go, first quarter, and the Irish, the first timeout of their 3 for this first half used here, and they're going to talk things over on this 3rd and 3 from the Irish 28-yard line. Some really good news for the Lady Irish soccer team. They had their state semifinal game earlier today in Murfreesboro, and I'm happy to tell you they beat Hutchinson out of the Memphis area 3-1. So Irish girls soccer team going for the state title tomorrow in Murfreesboro. Wish them the very best of luck in that one. Again, the winner of this game, 1 week from tonight, will play at John Paul II High School in Hendersonville. So here we go now, 3rd and 3 Irish, ball at their own 28-yard line. Then you get past the 31. They're going to send man in motion, setting up a screen, but nobody looking. It hit the ground. It may have actually hit a lineman. It appeared to be intended for Aaron Isabel. Still incomplete. Went off at Niles Gaddy, offensive lineman.
An intense rush by Cole Johnson and Tyree Tolliver.
So that brings up 4th and 3 for the Irish.
They'll bring up a 4th down and 3.
They're going to set up as if they're going to go for it. It could be another pooch punt situation like we saw before from quarterback Jay Shoop. There could be an attempt as well to get Baylor to jump. That would give the Irish an automatic first down. And they're going to pooch it. Shoop doesn't get a lot of distance, but a lot of air under it. It's going to take an Irish bounce at the 40 and go out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
Rolls out of bounds.
They'll officially mark it at the Baylor 36-yard line.
At about the Baylor 36, where it will be 1st and 10 Red Raiders.
So Red Raiders with the ball on the near hash at their own 36-yard line, 1st and 10. 5:45 to go, first quarter. Father Ryan trails Baylor by the score of 7-0. And so it's Bryce Verbal, the senior quarterback, setting up for this next drive here. Standing at his own 31. Look at the shotgun. Look at a possible false start. It wasn't, but it's going to be a sack. Jackson Bird brings Verbal down for the sack. Also in on the stop, Nick Krumnauer. Both players in there. Big loss. They're going to spot it at the Baylor 26-yard line. 10-yard loss on that sack.
Back to the 26-yard line.
So the Irish pick a good time to bring pressure up the middle. It's effective.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 20.
Baylor's left tackle got a tremendous start. It was one of those bang bang. He knew the snap count certainly. No infraction, but it turned out just fine for the Irish. Sending the Red Raiders back to their 26-yard line. 2nd and 20. 5 minutes, 6 seconds and counting to go, first quarter. The Red Raiders lead the Irish 7-0. We have whistles. It was a shotgun snap intended for Watson, the running back.
False start against Baylor.
So another penalty against Baylor will send the Red Raiders back an additional 5 yards.
Make it 2nd down and 25.
So 2nd and 25 for Baylor at their own 21-yard line. They lead 7-0. 4:59 to go, first quarter. Baylor's going to sub in Tate Prater. He has the lone touchdown of the game, somehow getting wide open over the middle. The Irish are going to have to do their best to try and contain him as they go trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side, trying to spread out that Irish defense on 2nd and 25. So Vrabel keeping it himself, running parallel to the line of scrimmage, finally cuts it upfield to maybe the 25, 26-yard line. A gain of possibly 4 on the play for Baylor. They're looking now at a 3rd and very long. So they'll spot it, the nose of the ball almost at the 26-yard line. So Anthony Wright on the stop for the Irish on that last play.
Ball is spotted just across the 25-yard line.
So 3rd and 20 for Baylor.
3rd down and about 21.
4-4 and counting. First quarter, Red Raiders leading the Irish 7-0. So with 2 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. Out of the shotgun as they throw to the near side, complete at the 25. Tries to make Bird miss.
Bryce Verbal's pass is complete to Emmanuel Williams.
Sage Warren also there.
By Sage Warren.
So Emmanuel Williams made the catch, but nowhere close enough for a first down. So this 4th and very long here for Baylor. It will be a punting opportunity here for the Irish. They had a muff on the last punt return try, I should say. Also a muffed kickoff return, so hopefully 3rd time's the charm as far as fielding it cleanly. Irish bring some pressure, but the punt's away. Good leg into that one. It's going to be a fair catch called for and made at the 34-yard line. Nick Miller brings it in cleanly. That's going to set the Irish up at their own 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Trailing 7-0, 3:41 to go here in the first quarter. This is the 2nd trip for the Irish to Chattanooga this year. Through a quirk in scheduling, they played both at McCallie earlier this year and at Baylor tonight. And depending on how things go here and in other games, it could be a 3rd trip next week. We'll see. The Irish, of course, get the win. They'll stay in the Nashville area next week playing JP2. So on 1st and 10, shoot from the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Elton Quimby. Quimby finds a seam for a moment. It quickly closes, though. Good stop. Tyree Tolliver in there.
On the tackle.
Also Charlie Glasscock in on the stop. Try and see where they're going to spot it. Looks like they're going to spot it right at the 35-yard line. So a 1-yard gain for Quimby sets up 2nd and 9. 3:16 and counting first quarter to the Irish trailing Baylor 7-0. Shoop in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. And a man in motion be a handoff to Sage Warren. Escapes 1 tackle. Makes it close to the 37-yard line maybe. Depending on forward progress, may have a gain of 2 or 3.
Calvin Watson, the first one to meet him.
Well short of the yardage needed to gain a first down.
He gets it out to the 33, where it will be third down and a long 6.
So from the 38-yard line of the Irish, there'll be 3rd and 6 coming up here. 2.5 minutes and counting, first quarter. Baylor leads 7-0. 15 seconds on the play clock. Father Ryan getting some instruction from the sidelines. They need to pick up the pace. They've already used one timeout. 10 seconds. They're going to have to burn a second one here and take a penalty. 5 seconds on the play clock. And so they're going to use that second timeout. Not the way they wanted to start things off on this drive, using a timeout on 3rd and 6, but certainly wanting to draw up a play that will hopefully, from the Irish's standpoint, get things going, getting them past the 44-yard line, getting them a first down. Baylor is a team that has tended to score early in games. That's not been the case for Father Ryan. The longer Father Ryan hangs in there, stays in there, keeps it a defensive battle, the more I suspect this game will tilt in Father Ryan's favor. We look back to games earlier this season, in that 17-point halftime deficit against the Knights at JP2, and came back to have a potential game-winning play on the final play of that game. Fake field goal that ended up being an incomplete pass. Point being, Father Ryan is very good at making adjustments. So here we go, 3rd and 6, 2:10 to go, first quarter. Baylor leads 7-0. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side for Shoup. Quarterback Jackson Bird to his left. Setting up the pass play, flush with the pocket, under pressure, will be sacked.
This time Jay Shoup is sacked.
Cole Johnson in there on the stop, along with some other players for the Red Raiders. So now, for their 3rd offensive possession, the Irish are facing a likely 3rd punting situation. Baylor's defense holding strong there. Besides the one long touchdown pass for Baylor, pass to Tate Prater, other than that, been a very defensive-oriented game.
Brendan Harris is back to receive the anticipated punt.
And again, Jay Shoup likely to punt, pooching situation here, but you never know, and he will punt it. This may be fieldable at the 35. It is. Very dangerous player, Brendan Harris with it. He's going to return it, going to the far side. Makes one man miss. Jack Boutte makes the tackle at the 46-yard line. You've got to watch Harris on any kick return. He has multiple kickoff returns for touchdowns this season alone.
He's eventually brought down by Jack Boutte.
You may hear the crowd cheering for Brendan Harris. The player made that return. So the
Red Raiders will have
they're going to spot it at their 47-yard line. Minute 16 to go, first quarter. Father Ryan trailing Baylor 7-0. Baylor worked some against NBA under center. They have not done that thus far tonight. Going from the shotgun on 1st and 10 with 3 receivers, 2 to the near side, and a pair of running backs. And it will be Harris running the ball. Maybe a 2-yard gain on the play. Nice tackle, Austin Crow. Flag on the play. But was the line of scrimmage. And it's a holding penalty against Baylor.
There's a holding penalty against Baylor.
So some mental mistakes plaguing the Red Raiders early. The false start will march them back, setting up a
point of the infraction.
I should say holding call in the back 10 yards. They will spot it at their own 34-yard line. To get a first down, they need to reach the Father Ryan 47. So they have a ways to go here.
First down, but now 23 yards to go.
So 1st and 23 for the Red Raiders at their own 34-yard line. Pair of receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. It's going to be a handoff to that freshman fullback,
this time
Patrick
Noah
Beacom,
Martin, the ball carrier.
stopping Noah Martin there for no gain, maybe a loss. And it appears there will be a 2-yard loss.
Tackled by Austin Crow and others.
So I guess Crow got in on there as well on that one, along with Beacom. On this second down, Father Ryan with a substitution. Nick Belante going to the sidelines. Expelled on this play by David Russell, another young player for the Irish, just a sophomore. 30 seconds and counting on the play clock here in the first quarter. Baylor leads 7-0. They're looking at a 2nd and a long 20 from their own 32-yard line with 3 receivers in the shotgun. Father Ryan brings pressure from the far side, but it's Harris running to the near side, or the far side I should say. being pursued, breaks away from tacklers. He may be gone to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, 5. Touchdown Baylor, Brendan Harris. There's a reason that so many universities are clamoring for his services. He takes a run on 2nd and 20 and goes 65 some odd yards with it for a second Baylor touchdown of the game, putting the Red Raiders up 13 to nothing with an extra point pending. So Weekly with the extra point.
The kick is good.
Plenty of leg on that one.
Baylor 14.
So with 5.7 seconds to go here late in the first quarter, your score, Baylor 14, Father Ryan 0. So just a handful of seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Father Ryan, after the defense forced Baylor back into a 2nd and 20.
Keegan Weekly will kick off for Baylor.
Their super talented running back Brendan Harris took it to the far side, and once he got into the open field, he has a very special level of speed. Father Ryan unable to catch him. So it's 14-0 Red Raiders. The kickoff will go into the end zone for the automatic touchback. So the Irish start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Father Ryan at their own 20.
So just 5.7 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Baylor up 14 to nothing. Challenging for that Father Ryan defense. They forced Baylor back on a couple of plays. I only see the Red Raiders break a couple of deep touchdowns. So now the Irish look to counter strike down by 14. Shoop from the shotgun has 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. He's going to hand it off to Jackson Bird. Bird pushing the pile forward. He'll get maybe 2 yards as we reach the end of the first quarter. After 1, your score, Baylor 14, Father Ryan 0. Ready? Am I muted? So the first play of the second quarter is a quarterback sack.
Charlie Glasscock.
And it was Charlie Glasscock, the 5'11", 185-pound senior, bringing the pressure on 2nd and 8. They're going to spot the ball officially between the 15 and 16-yard lines. Irish need to get to their own 30 to get a first down. So 3rd and 15, Father Ryan. The PA announcer says 2nd. The scoreboard and the markers say 3rd. I tend to believe the latter. So 3rd and 15, receivers to the near and far side, 2 to the near side. Shoop's going to step up in the pocket, flush. He's going to run with it, and then finally brought down at the 17-yard line. And the senior Tyree Tolliver, the 6'1", 220-pounder, bringing Shoop down. And really for Shoup on that play, that was about as good as you could hope for. Nobody was open. You don't want to throw an interception in that case. And he tried to make the best of it. So now once again it appears Shoup will be setting up for a presumptive pooch punt.
About 13.
As we've already seen, Brandon Harris so dangerous. Waiting to return. Whistles blow, a flag is thrown. It was not a delay of game,
Illegal procedure.
but it will be a penalty against Father Ryan for illegal procedure. So instead of punting from their own 17-yard line, the Irish have to punt from their own 12, going the wrong direction
12
on this 4th and long.
Fourth down at about 18.
So Jay Shoup likely to punt here once again. Indeed he does. Gets a good leg into it. It's going to bounce into Baylor territory. Got to watch Harris. He can pick that up and run with it. He's super dangerous. He's going to take it to the 50 into Father Ryan territory, cutting it back. Nearly tackled by Beacom. Spun around, finally brought down to the ground by Preston Cook.
Gets a few yards.
So Cook, number 74, finally able to bring Harris down. But that's a testament to his ability to make players miss. Apparently Aaron Isabel also went on that stop for the Irish. So Baylor leads 14-0, 10 minutes, 16 seconds to go,
Baylor
second quarter.
1st and 10 at midfield.
Lou Pickney joining you here live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, Heywood Stadium on the campus of the Baylor School. The Red Raiders of Baylor leading Father Ryan 14-0, and they have the ball spotted right at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. So Bryce Verbal at quarterback, out of the gun on first. He's going to fake it, throw to the near side, forced out of bounds. Anthony Wright stopping Tate Prater. He scored the first touchdown of the game. And Prater's going to be given, it appears, 6 yards on that reception. So that's a 2nd and 4 for Baylor at their own, or the Father Ryan 44-yard line.
2nd and 4.
10 minutes, 10 seconds to go, second quarter. Baylor leads 14-0. So again from the gun, shifting a man toward the line. It's going to be a handoff to the freshman Martin. He's going to be stopped quickly. Good job. Beacom and Bird in there, along with Anthony Wright. And Noah Martin, just a freshman, 6 foot even, 192 pounder.
So it'll be 3rd and 5.
Unusual you see a rookie, a freshman fullback getting carries like that, but he was effective against the Big Red last week. Father Ryan has done a good job to stymie him thus far. But of course, there are many weapons here on this Baylor team. 3rd and 5, 9:31 and counting to go, second quarter. Red Raiders lead 14-0. So Vrabel from the gun is going to fake a pass, going to roll to the near side, chased, being spun around, and he's going to be sacked. Austin Crow brings him to the ground.
Led by number 53, Austin Crow.
So Bryce Verbal.
And that'll bring up a 4th down for Baylor.
They're going to spot the ball officially.
Matt Spokella is into punt. Nick
Baylor's
Miller
own
is back to
47-yard
receive.
line.
Ryan.
So Matt Spokella, the junior punter, in for what is presumptively maybe a punt to the Irish. Gets it away, clean hit, high angled punt. Nick Miller call for the fair catch and make it.
Matt Spokella punt goes
at
all
the
way
10-yard
down
line.
to the 10-yard line.
So that sets up Father Ryan 1st and 10 from their own 10.
Where Nick Miller
Baylor
makes
has had the
fair catch.
field possession advantage since
So it'll
literally
be
the opening
1st and
kickoff.
10 at the 10
Irish
for
trying to
Father Ryan.
surprise the Red Raiders with an onside kick, and they had a chance to get it. 3 players were there. Baylor did not appear at least to be ready for it, but it didn't matter because it went out of bounds. And Baylor started from midfield. But the Irish, every drive they've had to start has been from inside their own territory. This one deep in their own territory at their own 10. So 1st and 10 for the Irish. They trail 14-0. 8:40 to go, second quarter. On the jet sweep, it's Sage Warren. Not much room. He's going to be stopped for a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Sage Warren carries.
Henry White in on the stop.
And he'll be thrown for a loss.
So they spot the ball at the Irish 5-yard line. Father Ryan likes to run that jet sweep, getting multiple players involved early and getting the ball outside the tackles. But Baylor spotted them all the way there. And it's another 2nd and long for the Irish from their own 5. 2 receivers to the far side. A pair of blockers perhaps. Said it's going to be a handoff. Jackson Bird trying to push the pile forward.
Bird carries.
Looks like he got maybe 2 yards.
Stopped by the interior of the Baylor line.
Appears to be down at the 7-yard line. They spotted at the 6, if the near official is any indication. Indeed they do. So a 1-yard carry there for Jackson Bird sets up a 3rd
Cooper Lewis
and 9.
At the bottom of that pile.
They have to reach the 20-yard line just to get a first down. 7:26 and counting. Second quarter, Baylor leads 14-0. 2 receivers on either side for Shoop out of the gun. On this 3rd and long, he's going to try running with it. Slips 1 tackle to the 10, to the 15. Finally brought to the ground, the 16. Loses his helmet, or someone lost a helmet. Indeed, it was a Baylor player who lost his lid on that one. Brendan Harris.
Harris on the tackle for Baylor.
So he has to lead the field for a play, but it's immaterial as it's 4th down.
So it is a 4th down for
So
Father Ryan.
4th and 4 for the Irish here. You imagine they would once again call on Jay Shoop for the pooch punt. Though if they can get Baylor to jump, that would be an opportunity.
So Gabriel Stoltz is back to receive the apparent punt.
Harris is their normal punt returner, with him out because he lost his helmet. That takes a bounce. Did a Baylor player touch it? It appears he did not. Now he touched it. That's a live ball on the ground, and it looks like Baylor has jumped on it.
Gabriel Stoltz eventually gets
So Gabriel Stoltz, the freshman, sent back to return, having to spell Brendan Harris. Harris normally would have been in there, but that's the rule that has gone into effect within the past few years.
Baylor will have it 1st and 10.
To encourage players to strap their helmets on tightly. Harris lost his helmet, and by rule had to either leave the play, play for a game, or 1 play on that for losing his helmet, or at a timeout for Baylor. They opted to take him off the field. But nonetheless, they'll have decent field position to start at their own 42. 6:48 to go, first half. Baylor leads Father Ryan 14-0. And now Harris back out onto the field. They haven't even started the play clock yet, so Baylor with some time to talk things over. It appears to making a switch at quarterback. They've done this a time or two. Williams in. He's only thrown 1 pass this season, so keep that in mind. He is known as a running quarterback. But it's 2 receivers to the near side, and they're going to send Harris in motion to the near side, make it 3. Williams trying to shake and bake. Is there a flag through? And I couldn't tell. Looked like it. Good tackle for a loss. Austin Crow.
Austin Crow.
So there is a penalty flag. I knew I saw something in my peripheral vision. It appears to be against Baylor. So the question is, do you want to take that tackle for loss by Crow, or do you want to send it back 10 yards? They give Baylor the down back. They will decline.
So that'll be a sack for Austin Crow, and it's a loss of about 3 for Baylor.
So it appears by the time they rule where he was initially contacted is a 3-yard loss, setting Baylor up at their own 39-yard line. They trail 14-0, approaching 6.5 minutes to go. Father Ryan trailing 14-0, approaching 6.5 minutes to go here in the first half. So Baylor on 2nd and 13. Goes back after 1 play. Trying to see who has the ball. Fakes out several players. Father Ryan in trouble making a tackle. Tyree Tolliver with it on the near side.
Finally tripped
David Marcel Fogg. Anthony Wright in there on the stop as well. That's nowhere near close enough for a first down. They're going to spot it at the Baylor. Well, we'll see where they spot it.
About to that original line of scrimmage.
So Baylor with the ball at their own 42-yard line. Looking at a 3rd and 10. They need to reach the Father Ryan 48-yard line in order to get a first down. So it was a quick switch. Matt Williams in just for 1 play, trying the Wildcat, and then Bryce Verbal, the senior quarterback, back in, out of the gun. So on 3rd and 10, 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. Verbal back to pass. Father Ryan only brought 5. It's a completed pass. A good job on the tackle by Marcel Fogg. It's caught by Gunnar Ricketts. It will not be enough for a first down. But Baylor with the ball at midfield in a 14-point lead. They may opt to punt here, or at least line up as if they're going to punt. Try and continue the field possession advantage they've had thus far.
Nick Miller back to receive.
So once again, we get Mats Pokela in. Ready to punt here, at least presumably, for the Red Raiders. He gets the punt away. High punt. Fair catch signaled for. Take a Father Ryan bounce at the 21, rolls sideways, and then be down at the Father Ryan 23-yard line. Good job by Nick Miller staying away from that one. And so the Irish, well, the referees are talking supposedly about where to spot it, I guess. Or was there a flag down? Like some sort of marker was down. Unclear at the moment what the call is. Again, for those of you just tuning in, Father Ryan going for an onside kick to open the game, unsuccessful. Defensively, they played pretty stout except for 2 long plays, a long touchdown pass to a wide open Tate Prater, and then a long run for a touchdown by Brendan Harris, number 2, also in there as a defensive back. He's one of the best players in the Division II AA. Of course, Father Ryan knew that coming into this game. They've seen enough film on him, I'm sure, getting ready for this contest. So 5:15 to go, second quarter. Father Ryan will have the ball. Well, it appears they're still discussing whether they're going to spot it. I'm not sure why that would be a question. Okay, illegal block in the back called against Baylor. The Irish will decline. So that's why they had that long discussion. It was yet another Baylor penalty. They committed quite a few. But the Irish opting to take the ball, they'll spot, I guess, their own 23-yard line.
First and 10 about their 22.
So Father Ryan with Shoup in the shotgun and 3 receivers to the near side. The direct snap to Quimby. Quimby on the far side tries to spin around. Gets to the 25. So a 2-yard gain for Quimby. Set up a 2nd and 8. Less than 5 minutes to go, first half. Baylor leads the Irish 14-0. But Father Ryan has the ball at their own 25-yard line. And they need to get it to their own 33. Again, 3 receivers to the near side for the Irish. And Shoup from the shotgun. Quick screen, Sage Warren. Warren at the 25. Makes a couple of players miss, pushes forward, and he'll be stopped at the 28-yard line. That'll set up a likely 3rd and 5 for the Irish. So Father Ryan going for the high percentage pass. They had some trouble converting on a similar play earlier in this game. But in this play, both players on the same page. So 3rd and 5, Father Ryan from their own 28-yard line, trailing 14-0. Approaching 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Shoup from the shotgun. He's going to throw it deep. Wyatt Rector forced out of bounds. An incomplete pass.
Falls out of bounds.
They rule it incomplete. No pass interference or defensive holding, as the Irish might have hoped. So that will be now another 4th down for the Irish. Father Ryan has had a difficult time moving the ball. And again, this is a Baylor team last week that, for the first half at least, did a very good job of stopping NBA's high potency running attack. The Irish cannot get away from that, though. They'll have to stick with the run. And I imagine they will, but in this situation on 4th and 5 at their own 28, Jay Shoup likely for another QB punt. He's going to get that one in the air. He's spinning punt. Harris is going to let it bounce at the 35, take a Ryan bounce to the 30, and be down to perhaps the 29 or 28-yard line. Good job by Jay Shoup. Rector will down it. They're going to spot it right at the 30-yard line. So for Baylor, this is actually
right at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 Red Raiders.
Maybe their deepest starting position in this game. If not, it's close to it. Father Ryan's defense has been out there a lot in this game. The downside to having an offense that's stifled, asking a lot of your defense. So on 1st and 10, Bryce Verbal again And at quarterback for the Red Raiders. It's a man in motion. It's going to be a quick throw to the far side, complete. Like Gunnar Ricketts, David Ward on the stop, if I could see correctly across the field.
To Gunnar Ricketts. Steps out of bounds at about the 38-yard line.
So they'll mark it at either the 37, 38-yard line. Second and 2 for Baylor. 3:35 to go first half. Father Ryan trails the Red Raiders 14-0. Remember, the Irish won the opening coin flip, opted to defer to the second half, so they'll get the ball to start things in the third quarter. So on 2nd and 2, it's a handoff.
Calvin Watson carries.
So Calvin Watson, the leading runner from a yardage standpoint for this Baylor team. With the run, he did not get enough for a first down. Difficult to tell who all was in on that stop. Seeing Jack Boutte get up. Likely he was part of that.
Jack Boutte at the bottom of that pile.
So 3rd and 2 Irish as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first half. Baylor 14,
no gain,
Father
so
Ryan 0. Baylor may need to hurry here. 10 seconds on the play clock. 2:53 and counting, first half on the game clock. 4 seconds and counting. Baylor's going to have to probably use a timeout here. Whistles blow, and indeed a timeout taken by the Red Raiders. They had the full complement of timeouts, so they opt to use their first of this first half on 3rd and 2. So with 2:45 to go here in the first half, your score is Baylor 14, Father Ryan 0. .245 to go, second quarter, here at Heywood Stadium, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Baylor Red Raiders, the host, leading the Father Ryan Irish 14-0. Red Raiders looking at a 3rd and 2 at their own 38-yard line. Irish looking for a stop. And so from the gun, with 4 receivers, 2 to either side, a little bit of time to throw, a high hanging pass. Will be incomplete. Great coverage by Anthony Wright. Prater, the intended receiver. Just too much air under that throw. And on 4th and 2, it appears that Baylor is lining up for a punt.
4th and 2 for Baylor.
The Irish have to be careful not to be lured offside, as that would give Baylor an automatic first down.
Nick Miller is back to receive.
And again, Miller back to field this punt, standing between the Father Ryan 28 and 29 yard lines. So a little bit of pressure from Father Ryan, but the punt is away. A boomer, fair catch called for by Miller and made at the 19-yard line. Matt Spicella has a very strong leg. And he managed to,
at the 19.
Looks like get the ball to where they spotted at the 19-yard line. So here's what Father Ryan has, a 14-0 deficit. 1st and 10 at the 19 in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. They try and get some points on the board here before the end of this first half. The receivers on the near side on this play, Wyatt Rector and Nick Miller. The running back standing to the right of quarterback Jay Shoup is Jackson Bird. So on this 1st and 10, it is Jackson Bird. He's going to keep it himself, try to stiff arm a player unsuccessfully. It was Derek Duncan, the senior, bringing him down.
This time he's dragged down.
Maybe a 1-yard loss. Let's say he got back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10, Father Ryan at their own 19.
No gain on the play.
2:10 and counting to go here in the first half. Red Raiders up 14-0. Now Father Ryan picking up the pace a little bit. On 2nd and 10, with a 3-receiver look, 2 to the far side. With a low snap, good job by Shoop to handle it. A quick throw complete and out of bounds is Martin, and a flag comes in. So a late hit on Baylor will tack 15 yards onto that reception by Nick Miller. He made that catch at the Father Ryan 23-yard line.
Out of bounds, and then there is a flag on the play.
So you would think it's going to end up at the Father Ryan 38-yard line.
Bailey penalized 15 yards for a hit out of bounds.
And indeed it will be
So
between the 37 and 38-yard line.
At the 37.
Officially, they'll say the 37, 1st and 10 Irish, 1:53 and counting to go here in the first half. Father Ryan down 14-0 and only 1 timeout left in this half. It's a reverse. It's going to be a potential passing situation. Shoop's going to keep it himself, run for a first down, and they go out of bounds.
Jay Shoop
So Father Ryan
gets the ball.
Mixing things up a bit.
Bounds just across midfield.
Going with Shoop in a jet sweep type maneuver. Some commotion on the far sideline. Your guess is as good as mine as to what that's all about. Perhaps some discussion on where to spot it.
The personal foul called against Father Ryan.
Trying to figure out what exactly happened here. One play after Baylor was hit for a 15-yard personal foul. PA announcer said personal foul Father Ryan. I didn't see that designated from the official, but it appears to be the case.
So that'll take it from midfield back to the 35.
So I suppose 15 yards from the spot of the penalty. So you have to wipe off that first down run by Jay Shoop.
The net result is that it's first.
So Father
down,
Ryan ball 1st and 12
yards to go.
at their own 35-yard line. 1:35 to go first half. Father Ryan trails Baylor 14-0. Shoop's going to roll to his left, looking to throw under pressure. Complete. White Rector makes the catch at midfield to the 50. Gets down to the 45-yard line. First down, Father Ryan.
Rector.
That will temporarily stop the clock as they move the chains and spot the ball. Irish with only 1 timeout.
Now in Baylor territory.
Don't want to have to burn it here. And they'll get into position relatively quickly.
45 with 1:25.
A 4-receiver look for the Irish. Shoop trying to instruct his players to get into position. 1:18 and counting here in the first half. The snap to Shoop, looks, goes to his progression, is going to roll to his right, buy time, nobody open, tries to get away, heading for the sidelines. Took a hard hit. Maybe gained 2 or 3 yards on the play.
Tackled eventually,
but he was kept in bounds. Whistles blow, and Father Ryan opts to use its 3rd and final timeout. So a good effort by Shoop to extend the play as much as possible. Ended up picking up maybe 2 yards or so, but perhaps more importantly for the Irish, Shoop unable to get out of bounds. And that forced Father Ryan to use its final timeout, with the ball spotted at the Baylor 43-yard line. And again, Father Ryan will receive the second half kickoff after deferring following their win of the opening coin flip. And to reiterate, next week, opening round of the playoffs, the winner of this game will play at Pope John Paul II High School up in Hendersonville. The loser of this game will play either at McCallie or possibly at Innsworth, but a couple of things have to happen for that to be the case. So Shoop, slow to leave the field, favoring his right leg. Not what the Irish wanted to see there at all.
Shoop is shaken up on that play.
Shoop got the Irish down to the 43-yard line with his legs and his arm. He took a hard hit the play before, but it seemed okay in there on that first down. Not quite sure what happened to him there. So it means a change at quarterback.
So Cade Pfeiffer is now.
That means junior Cade Pfeiffer, the fearless, one in at quarterback, 2nd and 8. 1:03 to go first half. Father Ryan down by 14. He's going to keep it himself and reach the 40-yard line. Less than a minute to go. Father Ryan out of timeout. 3rd and a long 4 for the Irish with the backup junior in there, Cade Pfeiffer, trying to speed his team up. 3 receivers for the Irish, 2 to the near side. Bird in as a blocking running back. Pfeiffer's going to fire it complete. Wyatt Rector at the 32-yard line, fumbles the ball. It's loose, bouncing around. And it may be Baylor's ball. It is Baylor's ball.
On the play, and it's recovered by Calvin Watson.
So Watson brings in the fumble recovery. Calvin Watson, the star running back, also there. Pick up the turnover for the Irish. So Father Ryan with his first turnover of the game. First turnover for either team. The third fumble, if you count the two muffs on the punt return and kick return respectively. So Baylor with 2 timeouts and a 14-point lead. Looking at 34.5 seconds to go here in the first half. Father Ryan's out of timeouts. That gives Baylor some latitude if they want to try and throw it. So Bryce Verbal, a quick throw on first down to Harris. Good job on the tackle by Jackson Bird. Gained maybe 4, possibly 5 yards on the carry. They're going to spot it at the 40-yard line. And Baylor will use their second timeout.
Baylor calls timeout.
A good play by both sides. A quick throw by Baylor. Not trying to run time off the clock. Father Ryan right there to make the tackle quickly and inbounds. And that's going to lead to the respective huddles on both sides. Both teams trying to make sure they had the last 27.7 seconds of this first half figured out. Again, mentioned earlier, Father Ryan's girls soccer team, congratulations to them. 3-1 victory in the state semifinals in Murfreesboro earlier this afternoon over Hutchinson. They get to play for the state championship tomorrow. Good luck to the Lady Irish soccer team. So 2nd and 5 out of this timeout for Baylor, leading by 14, but only 1 timeout remaining. And they're going to go trips receivers to the far side, will the Red Raiders of Baylor. 1 receiver to the near. Verbal in at quarterback with Harris behind him. And it's another quick throw. It's a low throw. It hit the ground, incomplete. That could have been trouble. Jalen Baker was the receiver. It was a catch, the hook and lateral, sometimes called the hook and lateral because people get words wrong sometimes. But it was an attempted hook and lateral, but the ball hit the ground. Good for the Irish that didn't happen as far as the ball being caught, because that toss to Harris, springing him to the outside, could have been a late first half touchdown for Baylor, something the Irish certainly didn't need, already down 14-0. So instead it's 3rd and 5. 21.7 seconds to go, second quarter. Baylor leads Father Ryan 14-0. So on 3rd and 5, 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. Verbal's gonna heave it deep and will fall incomplete. Good job on the coverage for Father Ryan. Sage Warren, step for step with Gunnar Ricketts.
Coverage on the play by Sage Warren.
Some of the Baylor players on the sideline trying to politic for a flag, but there wasn't pass interference. They should have seen it was right in front of them.
Bring up a
4th and 5 with 13.8 seconds to go. Now this is an interesting one for Father Ryan. Do you bring the house pressure-wise, try and block a punt?
Nick Miller,
you wouldn't figure Baylor would try a fake, but they're going to bring pressure. A quick play, Baylor, good job getting that punt away. A deep one, fair catch by Miller, and we made either the 20 or 19-yard line, depending on where they'll spot it, and they spot it at the 19-yard line. So with 6.7 seconds to go and the ball on their own 19, I would suggest it is entirely likely the Irish will take a knee and do a little bit of regrouping at halftime. They've proven very adept, this coaching staff. Coach Rector, his first-year head coach at Father Ryan, brought in his staff, and they've done a good job with those halftime adjustments. And you think about it, overall, Father Ryan has done a good job, save for just a couple of plays. We had the fumble just moments ago, but that wouldn't have been enough for a first down anyway in all likelihood. But it's given up the deep plays, the wide open touchdown, the second offensive possession of the game for Baylor to Prater, and then the ever-dangerous Brendan Harris with a rushing touchdown. So Cade Pfeiffer takes a knee. Father Ryan's got to figure things out. We'll wait and see what happens after halftime as far as quarterback Jay Shoup, who had been favoring one of his legs late in the first half. If we're going to see him, we're going to see Pfeiffer. So it's halftime here in Chattanooga. Your score, Baylor 14, Father Ryan 0. Back in position. Unless they've already mic'd up still, so just walking over there.
If you want to do the game from over there, no problem. I like switching up you, man. Shots. That's a lot of. Well, it's just a different view, man.
What's that, Dean?
It'll be sleepy driving.
Oh man, that's.
I may just cut it on with one shot and go take a nap on the truck.
Macaulay's pulled within one at halftime.
And who are they playing?
Brentwood Academy. Because that's the other one. They said their game going on down here. That's why they're already at half like we are.
The Baylor Bell finished with this. They're playing Innsbruck.
Did you say NBA and Innsworth, is that what you asked?
Yeah, NBA and Innsbruck.
Yeah, NBA's up 10-0 first quarter. All off of turnovers from Innsworth from I read on Twitter. Okay. Move back into position over here.
When you're ready, let me know.
All right, just a second to get me open this.
Yeah, just make this as we watch Lou jump over the edge. We're up high enough as far as I'm concerned.
No, we're fine.
It is to me, dude. Like I said, if you were ready.
Oh, that'd be different. Yeah, that's. Okay, hang on, stand by. Right?
Ready?
Yes.
We're good.
Getting ready to start the second half here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Heywood Stadium, campus of the Baylor School. Father Ryan trails the Red Raiders of Baylor 14-0. Lou Pickney with you solo tonight on this call from Chattanooga, the last regular season game of the 2016 football season for both squads. So Father Ryan, for the first time tonight, will see a kickoff from Baylor. Irish deferred the kickoff after they won the coin toss to start the game. A couple of scores of note. Brentwood Academy up 21-20 at the half on Macaulay. NBA up 10-0 on Innsworth in the first. And it's a deep kick. Will it cross the plane to the end zone? They say no. To the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 30, to the 40, and then flipped, end over end flip after a great return by Sage Warren. And they might want to get out of his face over there.
And is upended by the kicker, Keegan Weekly.
So Keegan Weekly makes the tackle. You can cheer all you want, but when your neck gets hurt like that, you know, I'll take a kicker getting the bronze star for that if you get the ball to start your 44. As sad as it may be, this is Father Ryan's best starting position of the game. So Baylor apparently came out fired
Father
up.
Ryan will have it 1st and 10 at their own 44.
They list weekly at 5'8", 150, but I don't know how true that is.
Jay Shoup back in at quarterback.
This is a good sign for the Irish. Shoup in at quarterback after having some sort of injury late in the first half. First play on offense, Elton Quimby on the run, and he may have lost a yard or two. Baylor's got to be careful playing so close to the whistle like that.
This time is Elton Quimby.
I realize adrenaline runs high in these situations. You got to play it smart. So that ends up being a 3-yard loss for the Irish.
Backfield on a charge led by Tyree Tolliver.
And Tyree Tolliver, one of several Baylor players in there on the stop.
13.
Baylor plays a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. 3-receiver look for Shoup on 2nd and 13 with 2 receivers to the far side. It's going to be Sage Warren in motion, setting up a pass. Warren's going to throw it.
Sage Warren
Has Rector deep. Thrown to the ground.
It's intended
Or so it looked.
for Wyatt Rector.
And indeed, it looks like there is a flag on the play. All but sure pass interference, if what I saw is correct.
There's a flag on the play.
Potentially defensive holding, depending on how they want to call it.
This will be defensive pass interference.
Indeed, pass interference against Baylor.
15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So they'll move the chains, will the Irish. The ball in Red Raider territory after Baylor commits defensive pass interference.
So
Good throw by
Baylor territory
Warren. He had Rector right there.
10 Irish.
Before the Baylor player interfered with him. So 1st and 10, Father Ryan at the Baylor 44. It's going to be a handoff to Quimby, and there's just no room for him there at all. And that was unnecessary. And that's going to be a personal foul, I think. Executive referee, yes, it is. It's one thing to come out fired up. It's another to play beyond the whistle. That's why I said before, they had to watch themselves on those whistles. And sure enough, it's going to be another penalty. So another mental mistake by the Red Raiders for as strong as they're playing on defense against the run.
Flag on the play.
Playing beyond the whistle.
This is a holding penalty against Father Ryan.
Oh, so it's a
And
10/15
against Baylor.
Now this is interesting because the personal foul happened after the play was over. So they wouldn't necessarily offset.
This is the holding penalty.
So they walk it back for the holding
10
penalty
yards from the infraction.
and then walk it 15 yards the other way, I would presume.
And then 15 yards the other way for the personal foul against Baylor.
Indeed, so that should put the ball at the Baylor 40-yard line when it's all said and done.
So the
And
net
indeed it
result
will.
of all that.
So 1st and 10 Irish at the 40.
40-yard line.
And it's going to be a timeout Baylor. So the Red Raiders are going to talk things over after
Baylor calls timeout.
pass interference penalty call, followed by a late hit. I didn't mean to get overly animated about it, but you could see it from the way the kicker made the tackle off that opening kickoff for the second half, and the players way out of control there on the sidelines. It's a good thing Father Ryan's got the discipline it does to not react to that sort of thing. So it will be 1st and 5 for the Irish. 10 yards the wrong way for the holding penalty, and then 15 to the good for the Irish on the personal foul. So the Irish needing to get to the Baylor 35-yard line to gain a first down. 10:52 to go, third quarter. Father Ryan trails Baylor 14-0. So Baylor used a timeout there to try and regroup on defense, gave Father Ryan a chance to talk things over as well. A 2-receiver look on 1st and 10. In the pocket, Shoup throws deep, has Rector right there, man for man, but has been overthrown, incomplete.
Jay Shoup's pass intended for Wyatt
Good
Rector.
defense.
Falls incomplete.
Like Henry White, a senior cornerback on defense. So 2nd and 6 now, they'll say, or it's really a long
That'll bring
5.
up a 2nd and 6 for the Irish.
Need to get it past the 35-yard line of the Red Raiders. So on 2nd and 6, here's Shoup. It's going to hand it off. Jackson Bird plowing forward. Not quite there, but he'll be close. They'll spot him, it looks like, at the 36-yard line.
Jackson Bird on the carry.
And indeed, it's going to be
He'll
what appears to be
about a
third
yard
and
short of the first down.
called a long
So
2
3rd and 1.
or a short 2, long 1. Father Ryan moving quickly, again to Bird, up the
Jackson
middle.
Bird again carries.
Shoop indicates it's a first down for the
This
Irish.
time
We'll see
it
what the
looks
spot
like he
is.
may have the first down.
They're going to say no, he's short. They're going to spot the ball right at the 40.
4th down and a little less than a yard.
So 4th and inches for the Irish here. With the ball at the Baylor 35-yard line, just under 10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Irish down 14-0.
4th and 1.
So on 4th and 1, 2 receivers to the far side. And Shoop's going to keep it himself. He did not get there.
Shoop on the quarterback keeper, and he is stuck. Cole Johnson on the attack.
Several Red Raider defenders there, including Cole Johnson. So the Irish on 4th and inches.
And so Baylor will take over.
Trying the
on
QB
downs.
keeper. Shoop's a good runner, but there just wasn't much space there. Baylor was ready for him, and it's a turnover on downs. So the
Ball
Red
was
Raider
spotted at
football
the 38.
at their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Baylor leading Father Ryan 14-0. The 2 receiver look for the Red Raiders on 1st and 10. This will be a handoff to Harris. He's so dangerous.
Brendan Harris
Anthony
carries.
Wright on the tackle.
Tackled by
Maybe a
Anthony
2 or 3
Wright.
yard gain, or maybe more. Considerably more like a 7-yard gain. That's how explosive Brendan Harris is.
Ball just shy of the 45. 2nd and 4.
Approaching 9 minutes, 10 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Father Ryan trails Baylor 14-0. So 2 receiver look out of the shotgun. Handoff again to Harris.
Brendan Harris carries.
So Brendan Harris down at the Red Raider 49-yard line, but that should be enough for a first down. He had to reach the 48.
This time the tackle made by John Hayes, but it's a first down for Baylor.
So Hayes on the stop for the Irish, but not before
1st and 10 at the 49.
Harris got the ball beyond where he needed to reach for the first down. So 9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Baylor leads 14-0. They have the ball at their own 49-yard line, 1st and 10. Again, a 2 receiver look. It's going to be a pass play. Verbal going deep with it. And an incredible catch. Tate Prater. Sage 1 was with him there, step for step. So Prater with a long reception. Give the kid credit. He had to concentrate to haul that one in. And suddenly the Red Raiders are in business once again with the ball at the Father Ryan 12-yard line. 8:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Baylor 14, Father Ryan 0. .12 on the play clock. This will be a 2 receiver look, tied into the near side, and a pair of running backs. And it's going to be Harris running so hard up the middle. My goodness, that guy, he can cut through so quickly.
Tackled by
Jackson Bird.
Crouch.
Also Houston Crouch in there. A couple players for the Irish in on that stop.
Gain of 5, it'll be 2nd
That sets up
and 5
2nd
at
and
the 7.
5 for the Red Raiders at the Father Ryan 7-yard line. Baylor leads Father Ryan 14-0, less than 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Again from the gun. Bryce Verbal's going to hand it off to Harris. Harris slicing through, spinning into the end zone. Touchdown, Brendan Harris. And Baylor goes up now 20-0 with an extra point pending. Brendan Harris, as noted before, there's a reason so many major universities want him to play on their football team. He's only a junior. He's one of the best that I've seen play this season. Spot is good, hold is good. And the kick is good. So it's 7:41 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Your score is Baylor 21, Father Ryan 0. 7:41 to go, third quarter. Father Ryan trailing Baylor 21-0 here at Heywood Stadium on Baylor's campus here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So after that Brendan Harris touchdown run,
will kick off for Baylor.
It'll be Weekly set to kick off from the Baylor 40. Be fielded, looks like the 2-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, brought down to the 18-yard line. David Ward on the return, and they will spot it close to the 19-yard
That
line.
was C.J. Vaughn that returned that kick.
So 1st and 10 Irish at their own 19-yard line.
Tackle for Baylor.
7:35 to go, third quarter. Irish have not been able to do much on offense in this game. Their last offensive possession
Pfeiffer
ended.
is back in at quarterback.
So Pfeiffer in at QB is going to hand it off on 1st and 10 to Elton Quimby. And Quimby will be brought down maybe the 25-yard line. Got to keep things calm on both sides, guys.
Quimby on the carry.
Having some words with one of the players on Baylor's defense, Henry White in there. So they're going to say a 6-yard gain as they spotted at the 25-second and 4. Irish approaching 7 minutes to go, third quarter. 2 receivers to the near side. And from the gun, it's going to be a direct snap to Jackson Bird. Bird tries a spin move. Won't get much beyond a 1-yard gain. So interesting to see Father Ryan bring Jay Shoup out at quarterback to start things out here after halftime when he went to the sidelines favoring what looked like his right leg.
Third down and still 3 to go.
Pfeiffer spelled him for the end of that first half. Shoup came in for the second half. But after that first possession, it's Cade Pfeiffer, the junior, back in. 3rd and 3, 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. Baylor shows blitz, brings pressure. Pfeiffer steps up, gets a nice block. Needs to get to the 31, he does. He has a first down, goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So on 3rd and 3, Cade Pfeiffer keeps it.
Scampers out of bounds after getting a first down for the Irish.
And they'll spot it either the 31 or the 32-yard line.
Now at the 32-yard line.
It will be the 32, where the Irish will have it 1st and 10. 6 minutes, 17 seconds to go, third quarter. Baylor leads 21-0. Nick Miller leaves the field. Sage Warren in for the Irish. And have Rector and Isabel, receivers on the far side, accompanied by Sage Warren. So trips to the far side on this 1st and 10. Pfeiffer will air under that one. Is that a live ball? Incomplete.
Cade Pfeiffer's forward pass intended for Sage Warren falls incomplete.
More air under that one than Pfeiffer probably wanted. The idea of that kind of a setup in the trips or the 3 receiver formation on one side, you can get a quick throw with 2 blockers along with that receiver. But instead it falls incomplete, setting up 2nd and 10. 6:11 to go, third quarter.
So
Baylor School leads Father Ryan 21-0. The Irish with the ball at their own 32, or just past the 32-yard line. Again, trips receivers to the far side. Cade Pfeiffer, the quarterback. And this could be a handoff to Jackson Bird, pushing forward, driving his legs, finally brought down for be close to a 5-yard gain.
By Cole Johnson.
They're going to spot the ball at the Irish 37-yard line. So 3rd and 5 for the Irish. They need to get it, let's see, all the way to their own 42 to pick up a first down here.
On the play, so it'll be 3rd and 4.
They're saying 3rd and 4, but it's 3rd and a long 4, if that. 4 receivers for the Irish, 2 on either side, with Beacom in the slot position on the far side. We're going to send Miller in motion, tease the jet sweep. Pfeiffer pressured, rolling to his right, grabbed by his jersey, spun around. Can he get rid of it? They're going to blow it dead.
Glasscock gets the sack.
So a quarterback sack, Charlie Glasscock on the stop. And Father Ryan's offense going in the wrong direction. We're going to spot the ball all the way back at Father Ryan's own 21-yard line.
4th down and long.
So 4th and more than 20 really from here. Irish trailing 21-0. A player for Baylor receiving some medical assistance. We'll take a quick timeout. Irish trailing 21-0. So 4th and long for the Irish after the injury timeout. Charlie Glasscock, who made the sack, helped to the sidelines, favoring his right knee. He'll receive some medical attention, and the Irish look poised for the quarterback punt on 4th and long. Cade Pfeiffer gets a leg into it. Low line drive, bounces, takes a Father Ryan hop past midfield to the 40. Harris is watching for Baylor. He's going to watch it keep rolling and finally be blown dead. Wyatt Rector picks it up at the Baylor 32-yard line. So a good job, Cade Pfeiffer. Not a huge high punt. Definitely didn't outkick his coverage, though. And then that's something Father Ryan can be happy about.
1st and 10 for the Red Raiders.
So the Irish down by 21 points. Defense out there once again. Try and contain this Baylor offense. You have to figure Father Ryan's going to be doing its best to key on that star running back, Brendan Harris, but they've got several good players on this team. Bryce Verbal, the quarterback, on 1st and 10 at his own 32-yard line. It's going to be a handoff. See Antonio Wright getting on the stop. And it was Harris again on the carry. My view is slightly obstructed to his number, but I'll trust the PA announcer on that one. They're going to spot the ball the 37-yard line, so 4-yard gain there for Harris, who comes to the sideline. He'll be spelled by Calvin Watson.
Tackle made by Antonio Wright and others. Gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
So with 2 receivers to the near side, Baylor on 2nd and 5. 4:18 to go, 3rd quarter. This will be a handoff.
Calvin Watson carries.
Watson with the ball. He'll be just past the 40-yard line. Not enough for a 1st down. 3rd and short. Looks like 3rd and 1 for the Red Raiders of Baylor at their own 41-yard line. Less than 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Father Ryan trails Baylor 21-0.
Third down and 1 for Baylor.
13 on the play clock. 3:45 in the game clock, 3rd quarter. And 3rd and short. Running back is Calvin Watson. And it's going to be a handoff to him. Rolls over one Irish defender. A couple more try to bring him down. Beacon tries to bring him down. And it takes 3 or 4 defenders to finally bring down Calvin Watson on 3rd and short. And the Red Raiders once again are in Father Ryan territory.
Eventually made by.
They're going to spot the ball, it appears, at the Irish 47-yard line. 3:25 to go, 3rd quarter. Baylor 21, Father Ryan 0. As noted earlier, Brentwood Academy only up by 1 point on McCauley, playing a crosstown here in Chattanooga as well tonight. Potential playoff implications for Father Ryan on that one. 1st and 10 from the 43 as a pass complete. Near side of the 35. Ricketts forced out of bounds by Jackson Bird. A smart move by Bird to slow up Ricketts, not let him fall to the ground. Don't want to do anything to incur a penalty.
And that is good for a Baylor 1st down.
They're going to spot the ball at the Father Ryan 32-yard line. That's enough to move the chains. Another 1st down Baylor. 3:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Red Raiders lead the Irish 21-0, and they've got the ball. So here's Bryce Verbal with 2 receivers to the far side. Pair of running backs surrounding him. It's going to be a handoff to Harris. Makes a couple players miss. Jackson Bird in there. He'll get maybe 1 yard, if that, on the play. Good job, Father Ryan defense. Harris is just so tough to bring down. A guy with that kind of speed, you normally don't see that kind of strength running between the tackles. He's got it, though. So 2nd and 9, Baylor. 2:39 and counting, 3rd quarter. Red Raiders up 21-0 on Father Ryan High School. So from the Irish 21, Baylor from the shotgun, 2 receivers near side. And it's a complete pass to the 20.
Pass complete to Gunnar Ricketts.
So Gunnar Ricketts again. Sage Warren on the stop.
That'll be another Baylor 1st down.
So Baylor moving the ball both on the ground and through the air. And the Red Raiders are into the Father Ryan red zone for the 2nd time here in this 2nd half. 2:18 to go, 3rd quarter. Baylor 21, Father Ryan 0. 1st and 10, Red Raiders at the Irish 17-yard line. Two receivers to the far side. And it's going to be another run for Harris. Harris has a hole. Gets hit and brought down to the 15-yard line. Jalen Harrod in there on the stop. Also Patrick Beacom.
This time he runs into Houston Crouch.
Or they'll say Houston Crouch, if I can believe the PA announcer. So 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard carry. Minute 38 and counting.
So 2nd and 8.
Baylor leads 21-0. They've got the ball 2nd and 7 in the red zone of the Irish. So here's Verbal. He's going to throw to the end zone in the corner. He has a man. It's caught. Touchdown, Baylor.
Complete to Gunnar Ricketts.
Gunnar Ricketts with the reception. And there wasn't much that Houston Crouch could do in man coverage. It was a perfect throw, exactly where it needed to be. Ricketts spot on with the reception. And with an extra point, Baylor's got a chance to go up 28-0
16 yards.
on Father Ryan.
Keegan Weekly is in to attempt the extra point. Bryce Verbal will hold.
The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is up. And the kick lands beyond the track on the far side. I think it's safe to say it's good. So with a minute 22 to go in the third quarter, your score, Baylor School 28, Father Ryan 0.
At the end of this half, take this.
So a minute 22 to go here in the third quarter. Baylor leading 28-0. Lou Pickney with you here on the solo call tonight from Heywood Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The luck has not gone the Irish's way tonight. Only one turnover as far as fumble/interception. But offensively, just not much success. They're going to be able to field this one from the 7 to the 25 to the 30 to the 35 to the 40. 45 brought down finally at midfield. William Riley on the return. So Father Ryan mixing things up a bit with its return game. And Riley will give them the ball at midfield.
He's tackled by Keegan Weekly.
So again, the kickoff man Weekly made the tackle. Not as much enthusiasm from Baylor on that one. Law of diminishing returns, I suppose, when your kicker makes yet another stop. So the ball right at midfield, 1st and 10, Father Ryan, minute 12 to go, third quarter. Baylor leading 28-0. Father Ryan loses this game. They most likely will play McCallie next week. But McCallie would have to beat Brentwood Academy. Actually, and Innsworth would have to lose for it to be Innsworth hosting instead. So on 1st and 10, a pass complete to Aaron Isabel on the far side.
Aaron Isabel.
Nice gain on that first down throw, Pfeiffer to Isabel.
It's good for a gain of 9 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 1.
So if BA loses and Innsworth loses, it would be Innsworth hosting Father Ryan in a 4-7 game next week. So on 2nd and 1, it's a handoff to Jackson Bird, pushes forward. Will be very close to the first down. Looks like he should have it if the official on the near side is any indication. They're going to bring the chains out. No, they're not. They're going to move the chains. First down Irish. So 1st and 10 Irish, ball at the Baylor 40-yard line. 34.4 seconds. Now they're winding the clock. Closing on 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Father Ryan down by 28 points. So here's Cade Pfeiffer from the gun, rolling left, throws, air under it for Rector. Incomplete.
Pfeiffer's pass intended for Wyatt Rector.
Just a bit too much on that one. Good coverage by Henry White.
By Henry White on the play.
For Baylor. If you're going to miss, you'll want to miss throwing it too deep on that kind of a play. Into man coverage. So 2nd and 10 Irish from the Baylor 40-yard line. The incompletion stops the clock. 19.1 seconds to go, third quarter. The Red Raiders defense came to play today. Irish have not had much success. So it looks like they're going to go with the Wildcat. The running back position, 4 receivers to the near side. Quimby keeping it himself. Makes one man miss, a second, and he's brought down maybe a 1-yard gain for Elton Quimby, running the ball from the Wildcat.
Elton Quimby takes the direct snap.
And that's going to be the last play of the third quarter as the clock approaches 0. So 12 minutes remain for the Irish if they want to get back into this one.
Back about to the line of scrimmage.
But they face a large hole from which to climb. Their score after 3, Baylor leads Father Ryan 28-0.
Baylor 20.
So we start the fourth quarter here on the campus of the Baylor School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it's the Red Raiders, the big lead on the Irish, up 28-0. 3rd and 9. And the first play of the fourth quarter doesn't even get started before a flag is thrown. The question is, was it motion on the offense or encroachment by the defense? It is against Father Ryan, trying for the hard count.
Loss of 5 will bring up a 3rd and 14.
Unfortunately for the Irish, didn't go their way. And it's going to be 3rd and 14 at the 44-yard line. Here's Pfeiffer rolling to the near side, throws a wobbler up, Sage Warren in the area, but it will go out of bounds.
Pfeiffer's pass falls in.
Pfeiffer took a hit on that one. He's okay though.
Sage Warren.
Walking towards the sideline. So on 4th and 14, they're down by 28 points. And 11:52 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Again, it's 4th and long for the Irish.
We'll see what the Irish choose to do. The last 4th and long situation, it was Pfeiffer, the backup quarterback, who pulled off the pooch punt pretty well. Do it again. Harris will field it at the 15. He's so dangerous. Brendan Harris trying to cut back, makes one man miss. Cuts through the middle, spun around by Wyatt Rector. He can't bring him down. And it takes a pile of players, 5-6 deep for the Irish. That's why you play until the whistle. Get your guys there, bring down somebody with a talent like Harris has.
By Nick Miller and Wyatt Rector.
So after all that, it'll be Baylor ball at their own, and we'll see where they mark at their own 31-yard line. 1st and 10 Red Raiders. They lead 28-0 over Father Ryan. 11:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. Last check in the third quarter. Brentwood Academy leading McCauley, but only by 1 point, 21-20. Blue Tornado only down by 1. Here's a different story, a 28-point lead for the Red Raiders of Baylor. 1st and 10. And it's a deep throw, complete into Father Ryan territory.
Pass is complete to Mike Benning.
Houston Crouch on the stop after Mike Benning, the 6'2 junior, managed to get open over the middle. And the Red Raiders moving the chains once again.
Takes it into Father Ryan territory, the 44.
So 1st and 10 Baylor. They haven't even started the play clock yet. But they're apparently going to go up tempo here with 3 receivers, 2 to the near side on 1st and 10. And it's a handoff to the freshman running back, Noah Martin. Finally brought down 25-yard line. And that'll move the chains once again. Jalen Harrod in there on the stop for the Irish.
Tackle made by, we think, Noah Haley.
It was not Noah Haley if you heard the PA announcer. It was Jalen Harrod on the stop. 1st and 10, Baylor, 11:10 to go, fourth quarter. And the Red Raiders lead the Irish 28-0.
1st and 10 Baylor at the Father Ryan 26.
So 3 receivers. And a tight end. It's going to be a handoff once again to the freshman fullback. He's pushing forward.
Noah Martin.
Noah Martin with that low center of gravity. He may have enough for another first down. Indeed, he does. This Irish defense has spent a lot of time out there on the field tonight.
George Hooker, but not before getting another Baylor first down at the 14.
And one may wonder if exhaustion is starting to set in with this Irish D. First and 10 Baylor at the Father Ryan 14-yard line. Baylor leads 28-0. 10 minutes, 39 seconds and counting here in the fourth quarter. Again, a three-wide look for Baylor. And with Verbal in at quarterback, looking left all the way, throws up, incomplete.
Bryce Verbal's pass intended
Tate
for
Prater was wide open over the middle.
Incomplete.
It was reminiscent of the first touchdown of the game, which was further down the field. And Prater managed to get wide open over the middle, ran in for a touchdown on that one. He could have walked in, but unable to corral someone off target pass. That sets up 2nd and 10. Baylor's ball at the Father Ryan 14. 10:22 to go fourth quarter. Red Raiders up 28-0 on the Irish. So on 2nd and 10, 3 wide with 2 to the near side once again. And again, another handoff up the middle for Noah Martin
on the carry.
And Noah Martin will get the ball inside the Father Ryan 10 down to maybe the 9-yard line. That will make it 3rd and perhaps a long 4.
Wright and Patrick Beacom in on the tackle.
So San Antonio Wright, Patrick Beacom there on the stop. And I guess at this angle of the field, it becomes somewhat difficult to discern. Less than 10 minutes to go in this game. Baylor up 28-0 and knocking on the door for more. Irish defense trying to keep him out. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far on 3rd and 5. Is going to throw corner end zone, and that one's going to be incomplete. Intended for Gunnar Rickett, similar to the last touchdown pass made by Baylor. Nick Watson in there on the defense. Nick Watson, just a sophomore. And again, freshmen and sophomores are getting some action for Father Ryan in there, particularly defensively and in the secondary.
Keegan Weekly is
kind of experience that you hope will pay off on down the line. So on 4th and 5 from the Father Ryan 9-yard line, a chip shot for Keegan Weekly. Good snap. Kick is on its way.
The kick is
good. The kick is good. So 9 minutes and 31 seconds remain in the fourth quarter, with Baylor leading Father Ryan by the score of 31-0. So odds are next week for Father Ryan will be back in Chattanooga playing Macaulay. Now, there's the chance though, if Macaulay beats Brentwood Academy and BA is not lost, with the exception of MBA, in Division II AA play. But Macaulay, we saw him firsthand earlier this year, and they've got a lot of talent that can put some points on the board. But the reward, if you want to call it that, if it ends up being Innsworth as the number 4 seed, is having to play an also very capable Tigers team on the west side of Nashville. Only saving grace for that, of course, is not having to make that kind of a trip once again down I-24 east from Nashville down here to Chattanooga. Already had 2 of those this year, in part because last season Baylor and Macaulay both played their regular season games with Father Ryan at Father Ryan at Giacosa Stadium in Nashville. So it's kickoff time once again.
Weekly will tee it up for the Red Raiders.
And it'll be Weekly, ready to kick it deep.
David Ward and William Riley back to receive.
So William Riley and David Ward deep. Spinning kickoff. That'll be played 3, maybe the 4-yard line to the 10, to the 15. Spun around maybe the 18-yard line for David Ward on that return.
Martin makes the tackle.
So Noah Martin, their freshman fullback, gets the stop on special teams.
David Ward returns the kick just shy of the 20.
So the officials will officially
19-yard line,
spot the ball at the 19-yard line. Irish with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 19. 9:24 to go, fourth quarter. Baylor leads 31-0. And again, we see Cade Pfeiffer in at quarterback. Not quite sure what's going on with Jay Shoup. Hope he's okay. So on 1st and 10. Wow, a handoff, but absolutely no room at all for Montrell McKnight.
This time the ball carrier is number 28, Montrell
McKnight had almost no room there, which
tackled by Calvin Watson.
Been the way this game has been. Baylor's defensive line has won the battle
on that play.
on the line of scrimmage more often than not. So no gain for McKnight on that carry. Sets up 2nd and 10, 9 minutes and counting, 4th quarter. Baylor leading Father Ryan 31-0. So from the gun with 2 receivers to the far side, it's Cade Pfeiffer on 2nd and 10. It's a loose ball. Ball is fumbled. Baylor player indicates they believe they have it.
There's a fumbled exchange from the quarterback.
Indeed it is.
Picked up by Baylor.
So another turnover for the Irish.
On the ball for the Red
Already
Raiders.
down 31-0. You don't want to turn the ball over in your own red zone.
Baylor will
But they
have it
did.
at the 19-yard
Irish
line,
lose
1st
possession.
and 10.
And it'll be Red Raiders ball, 1st and 10 at the Irish 19-yard line. No rest for the weary for this Father Ryan defense. Bryce Verbal, it remains in the game at quarterback for the Red Raiders, 1st and 10. With a 2-receiver look, 1 to either side. And it's going to be, indeed it is a handoff to the fullback, Martin. Noah Martin's going to have maybe 4 or 5 yards on that run to the near side. They'll give Patrick Beacom credit for the stop.
That'll be a gain of 4.
2nd and 6.
2nd and 6.
For Baylor. Eight minutes, 10 seconds to go, 4th quarter. Baylor leads Father Ryan 31-0, and they have the ball. So here's Bryce Verbal again from the shotgun, with Noah Martin to his side, moving him to his left hip. 2 receivers to the far side. 3 seconds on the play clock. And again, handoff to Martin. He's going to the far side. He'll be tripped up. A good tackle. A stop for a loss
Brought down in the
by the Irish. And it's Jack Boutte on the stop. Had a profile view of him. Didn't see his number until he turned around. So Jack Boutte, who I believe has more tackles for loss than anybody in this Father Ryan defense this season.
With the loss, it'll be 3rd and 7.
Adds another one to his resume there. So 3rd and 7 for Baylor. 7:25 and counting, 4th quarter. The Red Raiders leading Father Ryan by the score of 31-0. Seven seconds on the play clock. Baylor trying to grind as much time off of there as they can as we approach 7 minutes to go in the game. And it's going to be a jet sweep, snuffed out immediately. A good stop, Austin Crow. It was apparently D. Appleberry.
D. Appleberry.
So the 5'9", 150-pound junior D. Appleberry goes for the jet sweep, ends up losing yardage.
But it'll be a 4th down for Baylor.
Looks like a 4 or 5 yard loss on that. And Baylor now will go for a field goal. Their kicker certainly has the leg to make it happen.
Thanks, Eric. Be good, man.
This would be a 32-yard.
Will attempt a field goal.
So they're going
about 30
with Michael Ho, the junior. And it's good. So even the backup kicker able to get some scoring in for Baylor. Michael Ho with just enough leg to get it through.
34.
So with that touchdown score, Baylor 34, Father Ryan 0. So 6:20 to go here in the 4th quarter.
So Michael
A score update of interest. McCauley has taken the lead on Brentwood Academy. They're up now 26-21 in the 3rd quarter. Although I'm told BA is driving. Squib kick on the kickoff. It's a live ball taken at the 10-yard line to the 20, to the 25, and bowling over a defender is Ward. And David Ward on the return. And the Irish will have the ball at their own. Well, we'll see where they spot it before I start telling you where they're going to have it. It appears the 27-yard line is where the Irish will start this drive.
The
Father
Irish
Ryan
will have
huddles
it
on the
first
far
and 10
sideline
at their
momentarily.
27.
6:12 to go here in the fourth quarter. Baylor leads Father Ryan 34-0. So it's 3 receivers, 2 to the far side for Pfeiffer on 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff. Montrell McKnight. McKnight looking for room. Diving for the ball, comes loose, but they're going to say he was down. So they're going to say McKnight's knee hit before the ball popped out.
He was ruled down before the fumble.
Good break for the Irish there, considering several players for Baylor were there ready to pick it up and possibly run in the opposite direction. It was a McKnight fumble at McCauley that seemed to cost him some reps at running back, but no fumble there since it happened after the play. I cut myself off mid-sentence trying to make sense of what the whistle was for here.
This will be a 5-yard penalty against Baylor for being offside, and that'll be a first down for the Irish.
So Baylor with a gimme for the Irish. Encroachment, offside, call it what you will.
40.
A 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. So the Irish move the chains, 5:38 to go. Fourth quarter, they trail 34-0. Pfeiffer's going to keep it himself to the near side and be brought down at the 45, maybe the Father Ryan 46-yard line. Good 6-yard gain there by Cade Pfeiffer. I remember last season, Cade Pfeiffer also in the number 2 quarterback role. His brother Zach Pfeiffer, a senior last year.
2nd and 5.
But then when Jay Shoup came back to the Nashville area, had him in as the senior quarterback this season. With Cade Pfeiffer, I would imagine as the heir apparent, just a junior. So a handoff here on 2nd and 5. Moving into Baylor territory, good job on the run right there by Houston Crouch. So Houston Crouch, that may be his first carry of the season. I mean, I've been to every Father Ryan game. I've seen it all. So if he's had a carry that I haven't seen, then it's news to me. Good play either way. Gives the Irish 1st and 10 inside the Baylor 40. So they crouch again with the ball, and it takes a pair of defenders to bring him down after a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
This time brought down by Gus Howard.
They'll say Gus Howard on the stop. So 4 minutes, 38 seconds and counting, fourth quarter. The Irish trail 34-0. Trying to get some points on the board here late. 3 receivers to the far side on 2nd and 7 at the Baylor 36-yard line. Pfeiffer with 15 on the play clock looks to the sideline. Whispers something to his running back. It is a handoff. Run to the far side to the 30, is a first down to the 25, to the 20. Finally forced out of bounds.
This time the ball carrier
David Russell. So David Russell getting a first down on a strong run. Father Ryan spelling some of its more tired running backs. Some fresh bodies in there. Russell, another one of those sophomores the Irish can look forward to, hoping for good things to come from in future years. 1st and 10 Irish. Cade Pfeiffer's going to keep himself on a handoff sneak to the 10. Forced out of bounds at perhaps the 8-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 3 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. They will spot the ball at the Red Raider just outside the Raider 8-yard line.
At about the 7-yard line or 8-yard line. 2nd and 5.
So 2nd and 5 for the Irish. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. It is a handoff, look at a fake. Good job by David Russell, lowering his shoulder. The defender was trying to tackle him, bounce off, but not much after that. Maybe a half-yard gain at most. That sets up 3rd and, well, the scoreboard says 3rd and 4, but the reality is more like a 3rd and 6. 3:35 and counting. Baylor leads 34-0.
3rd down and about 6.
So from the gun again, it's a handoff. There's Houston Crouch. Crouch keeping his balance, and a defender missed, going for the sidelines toward the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown Irish, but there's a flag on the near side. And from the way those officials are reacting, this one may be coming back. It's been that kind of night for Father Ryan. So a flag away from the play. A great job by Crouch, seeing that corner pylon, turning on the Jets and making it there. But I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Disregard. Personal foul Baylor. Touchdown Irish will stand. So Father Ryan gets on the board. Crouch's effort pays off. The way the refs on the near side were reacting, waving their arms, I could have sworn it would be against Father Ryan's, the way it's gone tonight, if nothing else. But a good job by the Irish getting on the scoreboard finally. So with 3:14 to go here in the fourth quarter, it's 34-6 Baylor. And the Irish lining up for the extra point, Anthony Heywood.
Personal foul against Baylor. And it'll be assessed on the kickoff, but meanwhile, that was a touchdown.
So the penalty against Baylor, that personal foul, can be assessed on the kickoff, so the Irish will have it 15 yards closer when that happens here after this play. Hold is good by Cade Pfeiffer. The kick by Anthony Heywood is up, and it's good.
And the kick is
so with
good.
3:14 to go here in the fourth quarter, your score, Baylor 34, Father Ryan 6.
And so the score will be Baylor 31 and Father Ryan 7.
So Father Ryan finally gets on the board late in the fourth quarter. Touchdown, Houston Crouch running it in, the sophomore finding pay dirt. A personal foul on the play against Baylor.
So the ball will be teed up.
Will be assessed on this kickoff. So instead of the Irish kicking off from their own 40, they'll be doing it from the Baylor 45, and what almost for sure will be an onside kick attempt. The Irish started the game with that, a surprise onside kick attempt. It's well executed as far as players there possibly able to pick it up. Baylor wasn't ready for it, but it went out of bounds. Hopefully for the Irish, that won't be the case here, though they trail by 27 points with 3:14 to go. It takes something truly remarkable to get them back in this one. They're going to try, so they're going to kick it deep.
The kick will go well into the end zone.
So Heywood kicks it through the uprights. Down by 27 points, the Irish opting to just kick it deep. Into the third quarter. This is another game I'm telling you about here. Into the third quarter, the Blue Tornado of McCallie lead, or their lead is gone. Brentwood Academy up 28-26. So BA up 28-26 on McCallie after 3.
Lorenzo White is now in at quarterback for Baylor.
New quarterback in for the Red Raiders, Lorenzo White. Just a sophomore. They list him at 6'3", and I believe it. Kid's tall, he's going to keep it himself, fake a pass. Will only be brought down to maybe a 1-yard gain. Austin Crow said his name a lot tonight. He's made several plays for the Irish, trying to stymie that rushing attack by Baylor.
Gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9.
Less than 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Baylor leads Father Ryan 34-7. If BA holds on to beat McCallie, it'll be Father Ryan at McCallie 1 week from tonight. And we'll have it for you audio only here on ATW Sportscast. 2nd and 8, approaching the 2.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Baylor letting that play clock run down, understandably so. Setting up a jet sweep, and it'll go to the far side. Maybe a 2-yard gain on the play. So Torrance Roberts has to go to my second page, where I got most of the freshmen listed. Roberts.
Gain of maybe a yard.
They'll give him a 1-yard gain.
So call it 3rd and 8.
Try and fit as many names as you can when you put a roster together if you're doing a broadcast prep properly. But sometimes there's just not enough room and you've got to make a second page. Apparently I shouldn't have bumped Roberts because he was getting some playing time. So 3rd and 8 for Father Ryan as the clock runs 10 seconds on the play clock. Baylor just trying to get out of this one with a victory. Send the Irish back up to Nashville with a loss to end the regular season. So on a keeper on 3rd and 8, Lorenzo White looks to be about a yard and a half short of a first down. The clock continues to run, 1.5 minutes to go fourth quarter. With Baylor up by 27, they can take their time.
Short of the first down.
They still haven't started the play clock, 1 minute 18 and counting on the game clock. Here's David Ward back to receive the punt for the Irish at his own 40-yard line. Baylor will allow this play clock to run down to 1 and take a timeout, I would guess. They could take a 5-yard penalty, but the half second isn't really worth it, especially since they have, I should say, 2 timeouts remaining. And
Baylor calls timeout.
so they run as much time off as they can. 50.6 seconds to go here in the game. Baylor leading Father Ryan by the score of 34-7. Had hoped to know more about what we might see next week with McCauley and BA's game having a direct impact on who the Irish will face 1 week from tonight. So now on 4th and 2, after using the timeout to stop the clock, using every last second they could from the play clock, it will be a punt.
Henry White is back in punt formation for Baylor.
So Henry White ready to punt for the Red Raiders. It's the snap. Irish bring heat. Rector nearly blocked it, pressured it. A spinning punt. Take a Baylor balance and bounce back the Father Ryan way and be down at the Baylor 48-yard line.
Down at about the 47-yard line.
A little more than 40 seconds to go in the game. The Irish down 34-7.
Where it will be 1st and 10 for the Irish with 41 seconds remaining in the game.
So some substitutions for Baylor on defense. Cade Pfeiffer back in at quarterback for the Irish. A 3-receiver look in this final minute of the game. It's going to be a handoff. Houston Crouch on the sidelines has a first down, bowls over an defender, and Houston Crouch has the Father Ryan first down out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Gets a first down for the Irish.
You know, they list Crouch at 5'6", 155. I don't believe that's an up-to-date listing. That guy can pack a punch. Lower his shoulder with a boom. The clock now, they did not get out of bounds. So the clock is running, 25 seconds and counting. I was trying to get one more score on the board if they can. A handoff again to Crouch. Cuts it back to the far side, has a first down, and will go out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
After getting a first down.
So Baylor with its prevent defense end, as you would imagine, up by 27 points and 15 seconds to go in the game. But even with that, Crouch has managed to do what the other running backs for Father Ryan have had trouble with in this game. Move the ball and move the chains.
15.1 seconds left.
Too little too late, but encouraging to see, if nothing else. So Crouch up the middle, slicing through, pushing forward. He may have another first down.
Crouch again in the carry.
He'll be stopped at the 11-yard line. They'll say he's shy.
About the 10.
Well, they stopped the clock with 4.1 seconds to go. As indeed, they will say a first down, but they'll wind it. And that likely would have been, and it will be, the last play of the game. So a disappointing loss for Father Ryan, which drops to 4-6 on the season, 0-6 in Division II AA play. And so Father Ryan will now have to check their Twitter account and other social media as they take the long bus ride back to Nashville to see who they're going to be playing next weekend in the opening weekend of the playoffs. Last word, BA still up 28-26 on McCauley. Now in the fourth quarter, and BA has the ball at last word. So you'll have to check on that and find out, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know online, and I'm sure via emails and whatnot. So a tough loss for the Irish. Will now try and regroup as the playoffs start 1 week from tonight. This has been Lou Pickney solo with you here from Chattanooga. Thanks for joining us. Good night.